The indie game scene is a mixed bag of hidden gems and much to be desired. Since I started my journey of reviewing games as a hobby, I always found the indie scene to be the most enjoyable. Sure, not every title I come across is gold, and there have been plenty of scrapped projects and money lost, but the passion that radiates from these titles is second to none. Playing a game created by a small team, or in some cases a single person, sparks a certain relationship between player and creator. You see their vision, inspirations, quirks, and with early access titles, their growth as game developers. And in a world where AAA games are constantly being bogged down with predatory pricing, mistreatment of staff with workplace toxicity and layoffs, and the gatekeeping of certain titles, it's nice to feel that passionate connection every now and again. And every so often, a miracle happens. And today's miracle from the indie shelf is Sheepy, a short adventure, developed by Mr. Suicide Sheep. I encountered Sheepy on a whim. I opened my Steam and just saw that beady-eyed sheep staring me right in the face. Looking at its description, all I saw was pixels, platforming, and free. That's right, this game is 100% free to play. So thinking screw it, I have nothing to lose, I downloaded it, booted it up, and what I experienced was nothing I'd ever expected from a free-to-play platformer. Incredible visuals, solid platforming, boss fights, power-ups, and some of the best sound design and music I have ever heard. Which makes sense because I also learned that Mr. Suicide Sheep runs a music hub on YouTube with over 12 million subscribers. So to see that talent of musical knowledge bleed over into his video game is really cool. But as previously stated, this game, for being what it is, has a lot to offer, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Sheepy spares no time in showing its masterful use of tonal shifting. Right at the beginning, we see a dark room filled with trash. The scene feels cold with its use of dark blues, meshing with the grays and whites from the peering light coming from the ceiling. Then all of a sudden, a ball of light crashes into the ground, introducing the uplifting melodies and a show of flashing lights from the broken piano. Another bright flash reveals the same ball of light we saw before, now freely floating around in wonder. The ball of light then finds a home inside of a small stuffed sheep. All falls silent. It's now up to the player to make a move. But what? There's no indicator, no movement, nothing. So naturally you start to fiddle with your controller, pressing buttons until... the lamb comes to life. Sheepy, as a pixel platformer, plays mostly how you'd expect. You run and jump through various obstacles and occasionally pick up a new ability that expands your movement options. Despite being a stuffed toy, Sheepy is strong enough to grab ledges, flip switches to power up elevators and other devices for puzzle solving, and manipulate small black holes to give him a boost through the air. For the most part, gameplay is pretty safe and nothing out of the ordinary, but it feels good to play. The movement speed is solid, and it can change pace in certain moments to keep it fresh. Jumps don't feel too daunting to attempt, and there's some trickier platforming sessions for veterans of the genre. There's even some hidden collectibles for those who like to venture off the beaten path. Though it has some basic gameplay, that's not what Sheepy is trying to show off. Where this game really shines are its visuals, sound design, and music, calling back to the moment when Sheepy is brought to life. The game loves to merge the feelings of despair and wonder. This yin and yang of feelings put me on an emotional roller coaster that never stopped finding ways to surprise me. At first, I was in awe of this magic that brought this cute little toy to life, watching him prance around on the broken piano making music, to then discover a corpse 5 minutes later. It's these moments of fun and wonder, only to be bluntly reminded of the dark reality of Sheepy's world, that pressed me to check every nook and cranny of the game's levels, finding audio logs, journal pages, and informative signs, learning all I can about the game's lore and what happened. The game also does this neat trick with the camera, showing scenes in the fore and backgrounds when you stand in certain places, further enriching the game's environment. Then there's Patches, a stuffed bear that was also brought to life via mysterious forces, but whatever possessed him is dark and at times frighteningly violent. Patches is the reoccurring boss of the game, and though the fights are not the most challenging thing in the world, it doesn't stop him from being cool and giving Suicidal Sheep more opportunities to show off his skills in sound design. I know for the most part I've been pretty vague about explaining this game's plot and certain mechanics, and there's two reasons for that. First is that I tried to keep Indie Shelf as spoiler-free as possible so that you, the viewer, can get the best experience should you choose to buy it. So typically, I explain the hook of the game and show off its attributes. The second reason is that the game's subtitle means what it says. Sheepy, a short adventure, is in fact a short adventure. My first playthrough, I beat it in roughly an hour. My second playthrough, when I went back to get any collectibles I'd missed, took me about 35 minutes. So there's only so much to talk about with a game this short, and this game is so good that I really want you guys to give it a go, and the fact that it's free should only press you more to give it a try. Despite its length, this game took 3 years to develop, and the effort shows. Just the music and visual alone rivals that of bigger studios, and this man put it out in the world for free. Sheepy, A Short Adventure is a miracle of a game, and I highly recommend you play it and show your support to Mr. Suicidal Sheep. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!